Today is about all of you. It's about the service that you provided to this country, to this state, to your communities, and everything that you've done. I can't tell you how wonderful it is for me to come here today and meet with all of you and sit with you and talk to you, because I am so appreciative of what you've done for this country. And everybody here that has served, I gotta say, thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
I thought you did a wonderful job today. You are an outstanding young man. I love your shoes. I want to get a pair just like you. How's it?
They're too shiny.
Mine are too shiny, but yours are real flashy. And they're nice.
No, they're not.
Where'd you get them at?
Amazon.
Amazon? Okay. So how'd you learn the national anthem? Who taught it to you?
YouTube.
YouTube? You learned it on YouTube? Really? Your mom didn't teach you?
No.
Well, Landon, thank you for being here, okay? And thank you for doing what you do for all of us. You make us all smile. Thank you.
Let us all keep those currently serving and those who have served before in our thoughts and our prayers. They are the reason for the many freedoms we enjoy. Give me an amen. Amen. I can't hear you. Amen. I was a platoon sergeant.
Want to call out some other branches and make sure they're recognized today. The Merchant Marines, the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, the Women's Air Force Service Pilots, the Women's Army Corps, the U.S. Navy Armed Guard, and the Army Air Force. Thank you. If you've served in any of these, thank you so much.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountain to the prairies, to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Every generation of Americans have been called and have continued to answer that call. And I'm here to tell you, we stand on your shoulders. You did your time. We just went through the eras of the service, and different times in this nation's history have called for more service than others. But you all did that. And we're all very fortunate that we're able to gather here today, share stories, have a breakfast, talk to friends, and be proud of our service as veterans. Many of those that served alongside of us didn't have the opportunity to be here today. Many of those that we served with overseas never were able to return. But we still remember their service. We still honor their memories. We still keep them in our hearts and in our prayers. And we still need to be able to honor their families as well. Many people within this country are fascinated by history, but they are observers of history. Okay, our veterans were participants in history. Okay, you went out and made history throughout your service.
I'm here with Bill Jackson. Bill, you've done the invocation for us here for many years, even before me, but tell us a little bit about what this means to you and the Veterans Breakfast and, why you're really here.
Well, of course, my main interest in military history dates from losing my dad in World War II. He was a combat veteran killed in Germany in 1945, and I started an interest in military history because of that, tracing his interest. And I found that in our community, Hershey, Hummelstown, there was a lot of interest in military history. And myself and the late Jack Thomas from Hershey, we started the Central Pennsylvania World War II Roundtable in 2003. And we continue to meet. Matter of fact, we're meeting tonight. We meet on the first Thursday every month at Grace Methodist Church in Hummelstown and have still a World War II speaker every month.
Oh, there's not many left.
Well, we're having to go as far as Connecticut and New Jersey, but we're still, with our crew that hunts these guys down, we're still able to have them. But when we started it, we didn't have a hard time getting people to come because one of our first speakers was Major Dick Winters from Hershey.
Sure. Name the bridge after him.
Right.
Yep,
And,
sure.
Anyway, that
that
has grown. We are now, believe it or not, the interest in World War II has not flagged. We average 250 people at our meetings.
Oh, that's
and
absolutely wonderful.
The month that we had a Dachau survivor, 406 by count at the door. So the interest is still there, and as a result of that, we had a lot of Vietnam vets attending, and there was not a Vietnam roundtable. There's a Vietnam Veterans Association, but one to study the history. And a fellow by the name of Richard Burton, who has been our president of the World War II, I talked to him, and he got together with some friends, and we founded the Central Pennsylvania Vietnam Roundtable. And it started out with just a trickle, about 20, maybe 25 guys. But now they're beginning to open up and talk about their experiences. And it's really great. I mean, we've had some of them with post-traumatic stress that it's the first time they've ever told their stories. And that one meets the second Thursday of the month up at Derry Street at the Vietnam Veterans Hall.
Okay.
But anyway, my interest, of course, stems from my dad and my stepdad, who, as I mentioned, was a captain in the Medical Corps. And he had, the reason I mentioned 1939 before the war started, he went to Texas University. He wanted to be a doctor. And he registered in pre-med and got no help from home. He was a farm boy. And he ran the Trailways bus station in Austin, Texas at night for 4 years and drove bus in the summer. Graduated in 1939, went into the Army because he said, I can't do this for medical school. I need to get some money, so I'll do a 3-year hitch in the Army. Well, you know what happened. December of '41 came along, and the Army did something that made sense. He was by then a regular Army sergeant with a degree in pre-med. They pulled him out, sent him to OCS, and he spent the entire war at Carlisle Barracks. Carlisle was the East Coast Induction Center for doctors, MDs, who were going into the medical corps. And they had to take basic training just like anybody else. So from 1941 until 1945, he was a basic training company commander at Carlisle Barracks. 52 classes of doctors he put through basic training.
Oh, isn't that great?
They had to learn how to march, how to shoot a rifle, just like anybody else.
Right.
And so between my dad and my stepdad, you know, that's been my inspiration.
Well, Bill, I can't thank you enough. I mean, you've been so gracious with me since I've been the state rep here to do the invocation and really get the troops fired up here. So thank you again.
I try to do it.
And we look forward to you doing it every year.
Well,
as
long
able.
as I can.
You bet. All right, Bill. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Thank you. Thanks.
My name is Jim Zugay. I'm your Recorder of Deeds for Dauphin County. And why is the Recorder of Deeds standing up here at a Veterans Breakfast? Because we have the honor of safeguarding your DD-214, which is your honorable discharge. If you record that in our office, in any of the 67 counties in this state, that document will be preserved in our office for safekeeping. No one else can get that document except for you or a designee of yours. So that is a confidential document. We also, since we do that, businesses have come to us and said, we need some documentation and proof that veterans are who they are. And so a few years ago, we instituted the discount card program, which will put your picture on a Dauphin County discount card, and you're eligible to go to that business and receive the discount.
We're here at my Veterans Breakfast, as every year it's such a special occasion to honor the veterans. And, you know, I think this is my third Veterans Breakfast, and Chief, I think it's your first here with us today, and I can't thank you enough for being here with us. I'm here with Chief Dale Bevins. Chief, we had some legislation pass. It's really good legislation. Can you talk a little bit about it? It was just signed by the governor, I think, about a week ago. So tell us a little bit about that and what's going on.
Sure. So it's the Pennsylvania Military Family Education Program, and it's designed as a retention tool to take care of our veterans and our veterans' families. And it is an education benefit that is being afforded to our veterans and our family members of our veterans to help provide our veterans and offload the burden of the expense for their education.
You know, when that bill came up, it was a special bill, and it is something that we really need to truly do and take care of our veterans coming out of service or maintaining. But a lot of these gentlemen here today actually are World War II veterans, and we're going to honor them today. I think it's special in one case because, you know, some of these folks, you know, they were in the worst of the worst conditions back in World War II. But, you know, they persevered, they came home to us and our families, and I can't thank them enough for what you do. I can't thank you enough for your service and what you've done for us in our country. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity and being here today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for honoring these veterans in the way that you do.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Anytime. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.